Guys, how is this possible? This was me 4 months ago. Okay, pretty good shape. And this is me now. You're probably asking yourself, how is this possible? If you want to know more, stay tuned and watch this full video. Okay, so the big question is, where do we begin with this weight loss journey for 2023? So today is Wednesday, the 15th of March, and my current weight today, after having breakfast, is 85.6 kilos. And if you want to know what that is in English, i.e. stone or pounds, you just have to Google Translate or Google Convert it. Okay, so when I was competing, the video you saw earlier on where I was shredded and had a six-pack, I weighed, I think, 81 kilos. So I'm about 5 kilos heavier than where I want to be. Now, the journey isn't going to be easy. The journey is going to be a struggle. When I say struggle, I mean a mental struggle, because the physical struggle is easy. For me anyway, going to the gym, lifting weights, doing cardio, going for walks. This is all sort of second nature to me. It's the diet which can affect you mentally, and having that mental drive and mental focus to do this is the most important thing. So I'm going to treat this a bit like I was treating one of the patients at the clinic for the NHS. And that would be if somebody came to me because they needed to lose weight or wanted to lose weight, and they were just living a normal lifestyle of no exercise. I say normal, a life of no exercise or very little exercise, poor diet control. Where do we start? Okay, so what I would normally do is pop the patient on the scales, or a client if it was in the gym, check what their weight is on day one, just like what I've done today. The next thing is to sit down and discuss with that person, that patient, where they feel they are going wrong. Okay, so they will often tell you, well, I had a takeaway, I had McDonald's, I drank a bottle of wine, I did this, I did that. They will tell you exactly the mistakes they've made or where they are going wrong. And I'm exactly the same. I know where I've made mistakes. I know how I've gained 5 kilos and I don't look shredded anymore, because after the competition, I was craving sweet foods, Ben & Jerry's ice cream, Häagen-Dazs ice cream, waffles, chocolate, everything that I restricted myself with during the dieting phase is now what my body was craving. And of course, when you've been in a calorie deficit for so long, as soon as you start eating those delicious foods, what happens? You gain weight. Even if you're exercising. Clearly, I was consuming more calories than I was burning. Calories in, calories out. Okay, so the first thing I will do is I would tell people for 2 weeks, try to resist eating all the things that you know you shouldn't. Don't go in the cupboard and grab a biscuit. Don't go into your fridge and grab snacks, high sugar snacks, sweets, cakes, biscuits, high sugar cereals. Try to resist all of these things. I'm not saying you have to completely cut it out of your life and be miserable. All I'm saying is for 2 weeks, reduce or try to reduce the amount of snacks, all the fizzy drinks, all the stuff that you feel is bad. I'm not going to sit there and lecture and educate you about what is right and what is wrong. I just want you for 2 weeks, or for myself, to just try and resist when you're at work or when you're with your friends, having those snacks, having a takeaway, having a sneaky McDonald's, whatever it might be. For 2 weeks, try to resist that. And then in 2 weeks, we will pop on the scales again. That's exactly what we're going to do in this video. It's the 15th of March today, so in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be getting on the scales, like I just did before, putting them on the floor there, and we'll see exactly what weight I've lost in 2 weeks. Bearing in mind, though, I have got the added benefit because I am going to go to the gym every day or every other day. I will be doing cardio and resistance training. So it is science that I'm going to lose weight. How much weight I'll lose, who knows? And it's going to be the same for you guys. In 2 weeks' time, you're going to get on the scales after trying to be sensible, after trying not to eat any junk food, trying to not eat McDonald's or pizza or Domino's or bars of chocolate or whatever it might be. And we're going to see when you get in them scales in 2 weeks if the numbers have changed. I'm pretty much 99.9% certain that in 2 weeks you'll get in the scales and you'll go, oh, I've lost weight. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tighten things up for the first 2 weeks. Okay? Then, after 2 weeks, we are going to then start looking at the macronutrients. How much carbohydrates are you eating? How much protein are you eating? And how much fat are you eating? Now, this is the thing which confuses a lot of people and, of course, patients, because to lose weight, we have to be in a calorie deficit. We have to think about reducing the right amount of calories. What I would try to focus on is the calories you get from carbohydrates, because carbohydrates give your body energy, and if you don't burn that energy, what is your body going to do with all that excess energy? It's going to store it as fat. Now, this might sound silly, but I like to refer to the human body a bit like a car. So sometimes when I'm talking to patients, I'll say, imagine your body like a car. Putting fuel in the car, or for us humans, putting fuel in our body, carbohydrates. If your fuel tank on your car is full, okay, you've already got a full tank of fuel, and you start to put more fuel into it, what's going to happen with that fuel? What's going to happen? It's just going to spill out, isn't it? Now, your body's the same. You store fuel in your muscle and your liver as glycogen, which comes from carbohydrates. Thing is, just like your car, that fuel tank, it can only hold so much. Your body's fuel tank. When that fuel tank gets full, you get an overspill, and that's when your body will store the excess energy as body fat or potential energy. So the key here is, if you do like to indulge on more carbohydrates than you probably do need, that's fine, providing you burn the energy. You could go for a walk after having a meal. Then again, most people like to sit down and relax after having a meal. You could exercise, you can go to the gym, you can do various other things to try and burn that excess energy that you've overconsumed. So what we do is, after the first 2 weeks, what I'm going to do after the first 2 weeks of just cutting out all the rubbish, is focus on carbohydrates. How much energy do I need daily to get through my daily needs? I.e., getting up in the morning, going to work. I do sit a lot at work. So when I'm sitting at work, do I really want to be consuming all this energy? Because I'm not really burning it. Yes, when I finish work, I will go to the gym and train. So if I do consume a little bit more carbs or carbohydrates through the day, then at least when I finish work, I'll go to the gym and I'll burn them. But I do try to be quite strict and cautious of how much carbs I eat during the day, especially when I'm at work and I'm just sitting all day long. Then what we need to do is think about the energy expenditure. So how many calories am I going to be burning? Now, last summer, when I dieted for 6 months to get absolutely shredded for my fitness competition, I would say the majority of my calorie burning come from walking. And I was walking a lot, 20 to 30,000 steps a day, because the weather was pretty good last summer in England. So I was trying to walk as much as possible. And all this walking enabled me to reduce calories, reduce body fat, and get into the shape I needed to be for the competition. So what we got to think about is, we know that carbohydrates give your body energy. So we know if we reduce the energy, we're going to lose weight. But at the same time, we also might feel tired because, trying to drive that car without any fuel in it, it's not really going to go far. The human body, similar. If we try to exercise or do daily activities with very little fuel in it, we're going to feel tired, sluggish, and drained. So what we want to try and do is replace the energy from carbohydrates with other calories, ideally from fats and protein. People might be doing, fats? What do you mean fats? Now this is where it gets confusing, because we've all been kind of misled into thinking that you have to have a low-fat diet to lose weight. And yes, that is true. If you're eating a lot of saturated fats, all the bad fats, of course, you're going to gain weight because fat has more calories per gram than carbohydrates and protein. However, if you're consuming good fats, from things like salmon, olive oils, avocados, all that sort of stuff, this fat your body can use very easily as a source of energy, a preferred source of energy. And this is going to have huge impacts on your weight loss because fat, or good fat, has a high satiety. So it means it will make you feel fuller for longer. So for an example, if you were to have a standard English breakfast of toast with jam, basically toast, bread, carbohydrates, jam, sugars, carbohydrates. So you've just had a lot of sugars and energy in the morning, which is great. But a lot of these sugars that you're getting from breads and jams will cause an insulin spike. Insulin is a transporter hormone which basically pushes all the nutrients, i.e. carbohydrates, into the muscles and liver. However, too much insulin can also store fat. So we need to keep a track on the sugary types of foods, which has a negative impact on the amount of insulin which your body produces. So what I would suggest is for breakfast is having something more high in fat, high in protein. For example, eggs. Eggs, I preach this to everybody. Eggs are like a super fuel. Think about the yolk, that yellow bit, that is fat. Okay, this is good fat that your body can use very, very easily. Some people are arguing, so, but it's all cholesterol, it's bad for you. It is cholesterol, but good cholesterol. And studies have shown that high amounts of egg cholesterol will not or should not have an impact on the bad cholesterol. There's many studies which I will put links at the end of this video for you to check out because there's some fascinating studies. I love to listen to various doctors and scientists talking about nutrition and all the studies. It's absolutely fascinating. Now, the good thing is if you have a breakfast containing eggs, so fats and proteins, it is going to make you feel fuller for longer. It will give you energy. And also protein is one of the most important nutrients that you possibly need. These are the building blocks of all the cells of your body. Protein, amino acids. Now, eggs are like the number one source of protein. They are absolutely fantastic and they are ideal. And we all know protein is associated with muscle growth. When I say muscle growth, I don't mean like huge bodybuilders, just muscle growth in general. Healthy muscles, healthy skin, everything. So protein is essential. And you've probably heard the old saying that there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. There's essential fats, essential fatty acids, omega-3, omega-6. These are very essential. There is essential proteins, amino acids. Protein is broken down to its simplest form, which is amino acids. There are certain amino acids which your body can reproduce on their own, and there are certain amino acids which you can't. And these are your essential amino acids, which you get from everything that lives. For example, chicken, turkey, beef, tuna, fish, eggs. Think of protein, anything that was living. Protein, meat will give more muscle mass. And think of carbohydrates, which gives you energy, anything that grows. And this is why sometimes people get confused when I say to them, you need to reduce your sugar intake. And they'll say, oh, I don't eat sugars. No. And I'll say, do you eat bread? Yes. Bread is sugar. How can bread be sugar? Doesn't taste sweet. That's because bread is carbohydrates and it will be broken down to the simplest form, which is sugar. You have some pasta. Doesn't taste sweet. That can't have sugar in it. Yes, it does, because pasta is carbohydrates and it will be broken down to the simplest form, which is sugar. Same as cereals. A lot of cereals, all cereals, are carbohydrates. Some are laced with more sugars than others. You make them taste better. But again, you could be eating things that you think are very, very good for you and healthy. And carbohydrates are good for you, by the way, especially the fibrous carbohydrates. But again, too much carbohydrates, too much energy, excess weight. So my advice would be the same as what I do. My breakfast is always eggs in the morning. I'll put some low-fat soft cheese on there. I'll add some ham in there as well. So that is a nutrient-packed breakfast full of fats, proteins. Don't get us wrong. There is days when I am hungry and I will have some oatmeal for breakfast, porridge. And I will have porridge because porridge is, yes, carbohydrates, and yes, it will give me energy, but it is how the carbohydrates from the porridge are broken down. It is what we call a low glycemic or a lower glycemic index. So that means it will give you energy, but a lot slower and steadier pace. So you get that nice, gradual, steady energy output, which is much better than having something sugary, which is going to give you energy quick, but also drop again. So if you have your jam on toast or your cereal in the morning, you feel full, your energy levels go up because your insulin levels are spiking, but then they will drop very quickly. And by mid-morning, you're hungry. So what do you do mid-morning? Just ask yourself this question when you're at work. Do you rummage through your drawer, pull out a biscuit? Do you rummage through your drawer, pull out a bar of chocolate? I'm pretty certain a lot of people watching this video will go, yep, that's what I do. I have little snacks. That's because you are eating sugary or high glycemic foods that increase insulin levels, which drop very quickly, which make you feel hungry very quick. Do this as an example, as an experiment. Try to have a more satiating breakfast, something high in fats, something high in protein, and I will guarantee you will feel full right up until lunchtime, maybe mid-afternoon, depending on how active you are and depending on what your sort of metabolism and body type is and all that sort of stuff. Try that out. It doesn't just have to be eggs. You could be having salmon for breakfast. Ugh. Not that I like salmon. I wish I did because I know it's very, very good for you. You could be having avocados on some rice cakes. Okay, rice cakes are carbohydrates, but you know, there's not much carbs in there. You have a plain rice cake with some low-fat soft cheese on there, maybe some salmon, maybe try putting some avocados on there, or some lean cold cuts like ham or sliced turkey or chicken. Perfect. Or even for snacks at work. Try peanut butter. I know peanut butter is not everybody's favorite food. It is my favorite. I love it. When I'm at work and I'm hungry, I'll have a rice cake with a little bit of peanut butter on, and that will keep me ticking over nicely until lunchtime. On coffee. Not too much though, but coffee, nice caffeine boost. First thing in the morning, a nice coffee. Okay, so I need to be as lean as possible by August because I'm getting married in Poland. My Polish partner, there she is up there looking sleek. We're getting married in her home city of Zielona, so that means I need to get slim for that wedding to squeeze into that outfit, and it's obviously going to be red hot in the middle of August, and there's the honeymoon, so I think we're going to Paris for the honeymoon. Anyway, I'm waffling on a bit. I need to lose weight for there. In 2 weeks' time, I'm going to release another video. I'm going to show you how much weight I've lost, and I'm going to give you a full breakdown of exactly what I was doing exercise-wise. Now, it is pretty simple. I try to do cardio in the morning, half an hour, 45 minutes. I might go on the treadmill, going for a walk. I might get on my spin bike. Anything, any form of cardio. Rowing, walking, whatever it is, cross trainer, anything. Any form of cardio, get the heart rate up, get the blood pumping, burn the calories. Now, I finish work every day at 6 p.m. So I always try to go to the gym every evening, except Wednesdays because I've got the kids that I've got to go and collect, and a Sunday because a Sunday is like chill day, but my chill day is going for at least a 30,000 step walk on a Sunday. So I will train every other day, and I can give you a breakdown. Monday is always back day. Tuesday, we normally do chest, so we go from basically a pull to a push. Thursday, it's usually shoulders. Friday, biceps, triceps, and the weekend we might do some HIIT training on a Saturday, and then Sunday is a rest day. So every day we always try to do something, and we don't stick to the same routine. We try and mix it up. Sometimes we do high volume training, sometimes we do low volume training. It doesn't matter. Gone on my fitness days when I was always competing and I stuck to a strict regimented program. Now I go to the gym and I just go by how I feel. I'm 45 now, so you know I need to start taking things, well, I was going to say a little bit easier, but that's a bit silly, isn't it? Because should be trying to work harder as I'm getting older. So you get the picture. In 2 weeks' time, I will make a full breakdown of the training I've been doing, and I'll also be giving you some more footage of the type of meals, because maybe sitting there scratching and going, that's all great information, but what am I supposed to eat? It's okay telling us to eat eggs and oatmeal for breakfast, but what about the rest of the day? And it's simple. I will give more advice next time, but it is simple things like lean proteins, turkey, tuna, lean mince, fish. It doesn't have to be rocket science, and we don't have to be getting the calculator out calorie count. You can calorie count because that makes life easier once you've kind of programmed into your mind what foods has what calories, I don't have to count calories anymore because I've ate that many different nutritious and healthy foods for that many years. It's just sort of programmed in my head. I can kind of look at a meal and go, that's 300 calories. Okay, so this is something you have to program and learn yourself. But we will be having a more in-depth video about the foods and the training and all that sort of stuff on the next one. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, if you found it quite educational, if you want to maybe leave a comment below in any other videos that you'd like to discuss, maybe you want to discuss the topics of, fats versus carbs, or exercise, or what's the best cardio, whatever it might be. Or, if you're my age, 45, what would you consider to be a good training regime? Anything. Drop me a comment below and ask, and I'll see what I can whip up for you, because life is a bit busy at the minute. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you do like the video, give it a thumbs up, click the bell notification, so if you want to be notified of any future videos, like the one in 2 weeks time, where we'll be getting on them scales again and seeing if we've lost any weight. It'd be very embarrassing if I didn't, but I'm going to make sure I will. Stay tuned, take care, and yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.